Hi there, welcome to BA Pro. In this video, we are going to explore RTM. Let's start. So, what is RTM? In RTM, R means requirements, T means traceability, M means matrix. So, RTM is an acronym of Requirements Traceability Matrix. To understand it a little bit more, let's see how to prepare RTM. Let's take an example. Your client initiated to launch a new feature to market. They had a meeting with sponsors and management. They came up with the high-level requirements for the feature. They documented it in either FSD feature specification document or BRD business requirements document or in Jira, which is a Agile project management tool. They shared the location of the document to the project manager in case they are following waterfall approach or to the product owner if they are using Agile for development. The PM called project manager or the PO product owner will work with the business analysts and the stakeholders to refine the requirements further and updates the documentation. Now we have more detailed requirements. In general, each requirement will have an unique identifier like R01, R02, R03, etc. If there are sub-requirements, they will be represented as R01.1, R01.2, like that. It depends completely on the company. Project manager or product owner will meet with the complete team and explains the business needs. And they will provide a walkthrough of the requirements. Now, the team will have the opportunity to ask for more information, like more clarity on the requirements, to understand it better and to develop and test it. Project manager or product owner, with the help of developers and testers and whoever is there in the team, now prepares a plan like when to develop, when to test, when to move the code to production or go live, etc. Once that is done, developers will start coding and the testing team will start preparing the test scenarios which they need to execute on the application under test and certify the feature. This is the right time to start the requirement traceability matrix preparation. We can create RTM with simple Excel sheet or spreadsheet. The first two columns we can use for requirement details like requirement ID and requirement description. The next two columns we can use for the scenarios details like scenarios IDs and their descriptions. Once team completes filling up all the four columns details, they will provide a walkthrough to project manager or product owner. So they will adjust the spreadsheet details based on the feedback received. So generally this is a good place to capture the missing scenarios details and adjust the spreadsheets accordingly. Once dev team delivers the build to the testing team, they will start executing the test scenarios on the application under test. And they will start updating the status of the scenarios like success or failure. And if they see any failures, they will log the bugs and mark the scenario as a failed scenario. Here again, RTM comes into picture. The tester can use column 5 to update the status of the scenario and column 6 and 7 with the defect ID and short description of the defect. The testing team brings this RTM to the daily defect triage meetings. Here, the project manager or product owner will prioritize the defects. That is, which one should be fixed first, which one they can just kind of ignore, and they're okay to go with the production with that known defect like that. And the RTM will be updated with the comments in the column 8. At the end of the project or the sprint, the RTM will be reviewed once again, and it is the one of the key artifact for the closure of the sprint or to the project. This will be shared in SharePoint or in Agile project management tools like Jira for future references. This how flow covered lot of things, but let's look into few specifics to see whether it answers any of the other important questions. Who creates and updates RTM? The RTM can be started by the product owner or project manager or BAs in the team, but ultimately testing team is the good one to start the RTM while they are preparing the scenarios. And during the reviews they can update the RTM, and also while doing the testing they can update the status, and while bug or defect logging they can update the defect IDs and description of the defects like that. And during the prioritization, either PM, PO or the testing team can add comments like which defect is of high priority, which defect is okay to go, like that. And during the retesting, the testing team can once again update by making the failure status as a success, and defect status also they can just mention as yes, now it is accepted and working as expected, like that. So it's kind of a lot of people will be working on the RTM, but not all at the same time, kind of one after one, like that. Why do we need RTM? RTM gives two types of traceabilities: forward traceability and backward traceability. Forward traceability means it gives the tracing between requirements to scenarios, scenarios to scenarios, execution status to defects and defect statuses and further comments. And in the reverse traceability, kind of from defect to requirements. For example, if any of the defect is identified, using the RTM we can easily trace which requirement is affected and what is the priority of the defect, whether that needs to be fixed immediately, or considering the timelines, shall we just ignore the defect for now and maybe fix in future and go to live as it is, like that. It also helps to identify the missed scenarios, because the requirements and scenarios are side by side. So in the walkthroughs it would be helpful for the team to easily identify whether the requirement is completely splitted into multiple scenarios to be testable or not. There also they can easily identify which scenario is of high priority to test and which scenario is not a valid business scenario and we can ignore, kind of. This also helps after the project closure or the sprint closure. This document is really helpful to see in future kind of what are all the defects we already fixed. Are there any pending issues which we are okay to live with in the production? When to create and update RTM? From day one. Yes, once the requirements are finalized and once we started the scenarios preparation, from the day till the end of the day. Mean to say that till the project or the sprint is closed. Where to store the RTM? It depends on the organization. Generally it will be stored in the SharePoint or a shared location or in the tools like Jira, etc. This concludes RTM. Thanks for watching.